Alright, welcome back. So here we are now. We're crossing the Laurentide Channel, the Laurentian Current. I think I'm getting those words right. It comes down out the St. Lawrence, and it comes down from points north, which are very, very cold. It's coming in, bringing in water that's about 8 degrees Celsius. So, and when I point this way, I'm pointing northwest, okay? And then over here, over to the west, is Nova Scotia. And then down here to the south, yeah, we're about midday, there's the sun up there. That's the Gulfstream. The Gulfstream is coming up from the Caribbean, up the side of the US, and it's coming up with waters about 23 degrees Celsius. Back there towards Nova Scotia, on that bank, which is the Gulf of Maine and the edge of Nova Scotia, and all the water in there is about 17 degrees Celsius. So we've got 3 different temperatures of water here. We have another temperature of water, which is all of this water vapor that's around us, where you've got quite warm air coming in over the ocean, coming in over the Atlantic, coming in off the coast, wherever it's coming from, but it's meeting this very, very cold water coming down from the northwest and the Laurentian Channel. So I have not cleared this bug yet at all. So it's quite a dynamic situation. It's actually flattened out a little bit now. Look at this out the front, it looks great. The rollers, as we came into this area, were quite large. You can see there's a couple of them stacking up behind. And the issue was that our course that we were on was a bit more easterly, and we were starting to roll along the edge of the waves, which, you know, is not going to damage the boat, but it sure throws the coffee around inside. So I've just paired away slightly more to the northeast now. Normally when you cross from the Americas over to Europe, you're going to take a course that on a flat map looks pretty northeasterly, and then it's going to arc over and then dip its way into Europe. And we know that's the Great Circle route. On a flat map, you are seeing what is a straight line on a globe. If you were to draw what's a straight line on a map on a globe, it would not be the most direct way between two places, right? I'd love to go into that in more depth. I actually met a couple of chaps a couple of months ago. It is not great being ill at sea in the fog. I met a couple of guys who follow flat earth theory, which everyone's allowed to do whatever the fuck it is that they want to do, right? And if your research has brought you to a point where that's what you think's going on, that's just as reasonable as anything else. My research and the things I've got going on lead me to agree with you in the here and now, particularly in fog like this. It's pretty easy to see it's a flat earth. Once it gets onto a slightly bigger scale and we can see the stars and the sky and everything else, that's where I start to get my questions. And my questions come from someone as is now setting off, not just like I'm taking my life in my hands. I've got a schedule. I got to be in Europe as fast as possible, and there is a massive difference between the straight line on the chart and the straight line on the globe. And if I don't know which one is which and I take the wrong one, then I'm going to be in Europe too late to do the things I need to do. So I'm going for efficiency. So I'm choosing to aim northeast out of Nova Scotia and arc across what is the map of the Atlantic and dive back in below Ireland. And somehow I think that's going to get me there earlier. I'd love to discuss that as we go along. A lot of people will be going eye rolling. Oh, I met 2 really nice guys, intelligent people who were like, so this flat earth thing. I was like, you know what? It should be that I can just present information and then everyone can make a decision. And if the information's good, then that'll stand to reason, right? I think it does, because I have to use it on a day-to-day. And I would say this: if the world is flat and sailors like myself are doing the geometry necessary to take us to our destination, we would use planar trigonometry to do navigation. But for literally 500 years or more in theory, people have been doing spherical trigonometry to get to their destination. And the people that have to do those equations and their lives depend on it know that planar trigonometry will not get you to your destination. So if you're watching this on a phone, if you've got clothes on, if you've got the accoutrement of modern living around you, it was delivered by ships. And the people on those ships use spherical trigonometry, or at least machinery based on those calculations to bring you the stuff. If they'd used planar trigonometry, you'd be stood there butt naked in a cave, not watching me, looking up the sky going, this is a flat earth. That's how I see it, right? So what else we got going on here? The mainsail is up. I do have some footage of me doing that. Things are getting a bit out of sequence. I'm not well, as you can tell. Free demonstration there. And also, I've been getting my shit together in here and doing all the other things I'm doing. It's kind of shaking off the land a little bit. Lots of work to do. 2 weeks planned to do it, 2 weeks available. So it should be fine. And let's all remember that this mainsail is doing an incredible service. This is like getting a World War II veteran out of the retirement home to have him come and stoke up the engines on some US battleship to fight aliens. Great film, that. This is not my mainsail of choice. My mainsail is over there. That's where we're going right now to go and get it. 5 reef, beautiful black laminate sail from Olympic Sails in Italy. We're going to pick that up and do the Fastnet race. That's the idea. That sail was paid for by a corporate sponsor who's looking to support what we're doing. I talked to him. I said, hey, people are not getting interested at the $5,000 level. It's the same problem I had when I did commercial charter, when I had the company Spartan Ocean Racing for like 5 years until COVID. You can get more people in if you drop the price, but you should never go below a reasonable price, because the people have no skin in the game. They don't want to like participate on what's going on deck. They've got no, like, you know, they're the worst crew member possible. But if you go too high, then you get people who, they're a different kind of dickhead sometimes, or it just limits it to so few people. It just limits it to so few people that you can't do the events. So we talked about it, and they said if we can do some corporate work for them off the dock in America and Europe, then they can change slightly the way they're doing things, and I can drop the amount that I need to get into the budget to make these things happen. This mainsail is 59,000 US dollars. The yard that we just went into was $19,000. The food and the crap, the food and the fuel and the water and the departing from the dock was $1,000. It just is what it is. You don't watch top fuel dragsters and then go, oh, it's very expensive, you know, rebuilding the engine all the time. Things just cost what they cost. If you're not interested, don't be involved. That's what this costs, all right? So I need to get a certain amount in from people sponsoring me, and we'd have them coming on the boat as well, and corporate sponsoring me, great. What I've done is pulled myself out of the equation, what I normally get paid, and I'm gonna try and do that through social media. What all this means, it means that where I was asking people for $5,000 to come on board as sponsors, we're now to drop that to $3,000. $3,000 is what I was charging for commercial charter in 2015 doing events in the Caribbean. So for the 100th Fastnet, for the Middle Sea race, for the Caribbean 600 and the Newport Bermuda race, which is the only events that we have on the calendar, that's what we're going to charge. So $3,000. So I think I was a little bit reticent to kind of sell it in the past. What exactly am I doing? How am I doing it? But we've got now 30 videos. We're clearly doing social media. This is happening. We've got the boat fixed, keel bolts tightened, anti-foul done, rig inspected. We've got all this shit going on here, and we've got the mainsail over there waiting for final payment and the Fastnet race. So you can still be involved. It's very, very, well, don't say it's really, really tight, because I got to sail there and go through safety and everything else, and I'll still be at the start line with or without you, but it's closer. So if you're in Europe, if you can just suddenly jump on a plane if that's possible. The 21st of July, 9 o'clock in Southampton, that's the start of the training I'm going to provide. I'm going to provide the training as I have done for 30 years. If you don't know anything about sailing, you will do by the time we are going into that event. We will do safety stuff only for the first day and a half. We won't leave the dock. Then we'll go and do some gentle stuff. Then we're going to go and do a 300-mile passage, which remember on this boat could be as little as like 30 hours. To qualify, to get to know what's going on. We'll come back into Southampton, and then we'll join the start of the race, and then the race will, for us, will be about 3 days. So basically by the 1st of August you're done. So it's a 10-day event. It's $3,000 US. I need 10 people to come and join me, or this is gonna be like a short-handed event on an open on Osprey on a maxi, thinking on the open 60 here. It would be okay if we had at the moment we got 6 people. And that's because the corporate said, we'd like to change the way we're putting people onto the boat. So I was like, okay, great, what does that mean? It's like, we actually need all our people at the end of July. No one can join you for Fastnet. So I'm like, great. So I went from 16 to 6 people. So please help me out here. Let's get it going. I have contacted the people who are already paid and told them I'm dropping the price, and I'm going to give them more sailing. Everyone's happy. So it's all good all round as long as people are coming sailing. So I'm going to get over this. I'm going to get through this, and I'm going to get over there. Go to csmthemariner.com. Contact me through there and say, hey, I want to come and do the Fastnet or the Middle Sea Race or the Caribbean 600 or the Newport Bermuda, whatever it is, and let's go and sail together. Nice and easy. All right, so I'll put this out on the podcast and the Patreon and everything else as well. Let's get the crew squared away, and then that's really the last thing. Everything else is sorted out now apart from bodies on the crew. And I say I didn't want to sell it. I didn't want to kind of like, because I just didn't know. What if you get in the boatyard and there's some massive problem? What if I can't get off the dock at the right time? Well, here I am. I've crossed the continental shelf. I am now in the Atlantic going to the Fastnet. So if you want to go sailing for the 100th Fastnet, this is it. Yeah, take a risk. I am. See you when I get there.